New week.
Yours.
Last week we went to Tallahassee, great environment, great atmosphere. Disappointed with the outcome. I thought we gave away. Thought we didn't play well overall, and I think that was the most disappointing thing. But at the end of the day, we talked about it. We made the corrections last night, and we started working on Alabama A&M last night. So it's a new week, new day, and it's time to focus on the next opponent.
Coach, I was going to ask you about referees, but I don't want you to get fined. Tell us what you're looking at this week as far as getting the offense on track.
We just got to keep, we got to keep working at it. The roller coaster is tough, but in life, you're going to have adversity. And as I tell the players, we got to continue to fight to work through it. And we're not that far off, and you see it in spurts and flashes. It's just we got to get more consistent. We got to get consistent, and we got to just really trust what we're doing. And I think once we get that done, I think we'll be fine.
Do you expect a real intense competition at the quarterback spot this week in practice?
I think it's going to be intense everywhere because we got to fix all three phases because we didn't play particularly well the entire game in all three phases. So it's going to be intense all week.
Coach, going into last week, do you think that guys were still kind of still riding high off that win against Auburn?
Part of me, I felt like it was a little bit of a hangover, homecoming hangover for some, not everybody, but, and then again, it's just, we're learning how to win consistently. And, that's growing pains, it's tough. You put 2 in a row and you want to get 3 in a row together, but, it could very possibly have been some of that. And if it is, hopefully it's a life lesson that we say, hey, okay, we put that behind us, let's go on to the next one. And I always talk about, y'all hear me talk about all the time about living in the precious present. We have to do that if we want to be who we want to be.
I guess what's the overall feeling right now that y'all going to November and y'all still control everything that y'all want? Well,
we just got to take it one game at a time, and that's what we talked about last night. I think previously, I think some of the guys were excited to be, undefeated in the West and be ahead. And I think sometimes you kind of peek over, looking over to see what's going on somewhere else, and you got to focus on the here and now. So those guys understand that, we got to take it one game at a time. We got to take it one day at a time. We got to win every single day. And so if we do that, then we'll be all right.
Coach, Florida A&M kind of burned you guys on big chunk plays through the air. Alabama A&M is really good at throwing the ball number 1 in the SWAC. How are you preparing for them?
Well, we're going to continue to do what we do. Problems was, blown coverages, and we got to fix that. I know Coach Miller's going to do a great job. The defensive staff will do a great job of fixing that. So I don't have a problem with it. He did a great job of going in detail. Last night, it wasn't anything special. It was just the fact that we got to do what we've been coached to do. Our eyes got to be in the right place. Got to carry out the assignments. You got to do what the defense calls for. He called a great game defensively. Now it's just about executing.
Talk about that consistency on offense. Is there anything you guys can do, whether it's reps, less reps of some things, more extra reps of others? Is there anything that kind of develops a consistent offense?
Well, we've scaled back some things. Coach Frederick and the offense staff have done a great job of scaling back some things and really focusing on it. I always talk about doing what we can do and do it well. And I think they've done a good job of doing that. And as you can see, our offensive line is really moving people now. We're running the football. You look at last week's game, we were getting 5 yards a carry, 8 yards a carry, 9 yards a carry, 10 yards a carry. That's what you want. If you getting 4 or more on offense, then that puts you in the situation that you want to be in. And we were in a lot of 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s, and we just didn't convert. And that's the frustrating part. And when you look at 2 of 16 on 3rd downs, that pretty much tells the story.
Coach, how much has Chandler Whitfield's absence hurt y'all on offense?
I think it hurt us because number one, he's a leader. And, you know, he creates some problems matchup-wise when Chandler and Kirkwood, when they're on the field together along with those tight ends, it makes it tough for you to defend. And so when those guys are on the field, you know, it's a little different deal. So it makes it kind of tough. But I think that Travion Brown and those guys have stepped up. Cameron Jefferson, those guys have done a good job of stepping up and filling in.
You expect to get him back, Chandler?
I do. I hope to get him back. It probably won't be this week, but it'll probably be next week, I think.
And what is his injury? Is it like a neck?
No, I think it's something lower extremity deal.
But what is it that sticks out to you the most about Alabama A&M?
You know, Connell is Coach Maynard's. He's an offensive guy, and he's gonna throw it because he's a former quarterback. He wants to run the ball as well. He's gonna have some trick plays. Always gonna have trick plays. And they're gonna be aggressive. He's gonna go for it on fourth down. He's gonna fake punts, whether he's on the plus side or the minus side of the field. Defensively, they're gonna bring pressure. They're gonna bring pressure on the defensive side of the ball. So, typical Coach Connell Maynard. You know, he's always been that way. He's gonna be aggressive. He's gonna take chances. So that's what we expect.
Y'all two having any communication this week, or is this that's completely?
Well, I'll see him, you know, on game day, and we'll talk that.
What's important with a coach and a team like that'll be putting a lot of pressure, especially on the special teams with fake punts, after a week? Like, what are you going to do to prepare after a week where the team sort of faltered in special teams, allowing the punt return for a touchdown, among other things?
Just correct it and keep doing what we do. You know, it's never, you don't ever just overhaul everything you're doing, because all you do is pay attention to, you know, the details and the techniques, what went wrong, who was out of alignment. So you correct those things. You know, we're going to continue to do what we do. We haven't had a return. And so to have that return is definitely disappointing. But, you know, what we do works, so we just got to continue to fine tune it and hone in on it.
After looking at the film, what did you think of the offensive line's performance? Obviously, the run game was going and only allowed 2 sacks, but the passing game was really
I
non-existent.
think they're progressing each week. I mean, to see those guys knocking guys off the ball, protection was pretty good for the most part. This was, I think, the first week in a few weeks that we've actually given up a sack. So they're getting better, and you can see the confidence. You can see the confidence amongst the guys and the communication and things of that nature. So hats off to the offensive staff and the offensive line coach, Coach Nivens, is doing a great job of getting those guys going, and the changes and things that we've done has really helped us.
Talk a little about Josh Griffin and how when y'all get close enough in field goal range, you're very confident about putting him out there. It seems like he's become part of the offense.
Well, Josh has a great leg. I've had him 3 years now, and when he's locked in and focused, he's the best out there. And so I don't have a problem, 50 yards, 51 yards going in. I don't have a problem with that, because he's shown and proved that he can do it. And so you can't, you got to be in a position where you got to get points when you can get them. Of course, he was 2 of 3. Would have liked to have gotten that other one, but he made 2. So the confidence level, I don't have a problem when it's 50, 51 yards. I don't have a problem going for it.
What on the miss? What was it, a snap hold or?
No, it was just a technical deal. Didn't open his hips up quite the way he needed to. Just a little technical stuff, and he knows and understands it. So we'll continue to work on that and just make sure that we get it correct.
So there's a quarterback competition heading into this week, right? To see who will start.
There's always a quarterback competition. It's just always is. When you ride the roller coaster, you got to continue to keep going. So hopefully somebody will, solidify themselves and get this thing going the way we know we can get it going.
When you have kind of what the quarterback position, what does it come down to? Is it just decision making and kind of focus? Like, so much of what you talked about right now is really just dialing in on the focus and the discipline, right? Whether it's teams, whether it's offense, whatever. It's about being able to kind of handle the moment. Is there something that's standing out with either of them that kind of gives you confidence that they can do it?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them do it. Mike, we've seen them do it, and it's just the consistency. We got to take the bull by the horns and just go. Trust what we're doing, take what they give us and just execute. When we do that, we're pretty good, you know. And when we start, you know, getting away from that or kind of feeling some other things, then that's when, you know, everything kind of falls apart. But I think when we get, and you're dealing with, you know, I got a guy that's an older guy, and then I got 2 redshirt freshmen. So I'm gonna have those growing pains with the 2 redshirt freshmen. T-Set, he's gonna give you, you know, he's gonna give you what he's gonna give you, and sometimes you're gonna sit out there and you're gonna do this, you know, but, you know, he's a competitor, and the thing about him, he's so mentally tough. You know, he never gets too high or too low, he's always the same. So we just gotta make sure that, you know, we stay within the framework of what we're trying to do so that we can execute effectively.
Coach Maynard said he has too many concussions to remember that game you played against him.
He probably does, because I know I gave him 1 or 2.
What do you remember about that game? Was it 1990?
Well, you know, I've had concussions, but I remember as well. No, they beat us in 90 at their place, and it was a bad call at the end of the game. But the next year, they came to our place in 91, and they were the #1 team in the country, and we beat them 13-10. And he may not remember, but I picked him off in the end zone with the very last play with no time left. So it's in the books, so I know he's not a concussion. You know, but Connell's always been, we've been friends, a great competitor, great coach. You know, he was at Winston State under Coach Bill Hayes. And Coach Hayes took the job at North Carolina A&T, and Connell left. And went to A&T with him, and then I transferred over from Wake to Winston, Coach Richardson. And we battled for 2 years, and then he came back and did a great job at Winston State, getting to the national championship game before he moved on to Hampton. So his brother and I were classmates. His brother played back, and so we've been knowing one another for decades. So, and Connell's a, you know, he's a character. So just like Coach Hayes. So you know, and I laughed when he said he had a lot of concussions. So I was laughing when he said that yesterday. But you know, it's going to be good to see him. It's going to be great to compete against him.
What are your thoughts of Coach Peak making it into the SWAC Hall of Fame? Are you shocked that it took so long?
Yeah. I mean, you know, I was wondering when it was going to happen, you know, and I'm glad it happened. I'm glad he's around to, you know, experience it. You know, it's just kudos to him. You know, his record is self-explanatory. His work speaks for itself. And for him to have that honor, he and Coach McNair will be going in together, so that's going to be great. And it's well deserved, you know, and regardless of how long it took, he's in there, and I'm excited and ecstatic for him. So, you know, I'll be there. So I'm excited for him.
Does Fred get any extra days off for that?
Oh, no, he got to work. He got to work. He ain't going to be off that day. You know, I'll probably give him 2 days. You know.
Any other questions for Coach Graves? Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Have a good one.
Thank you, Coach.